In this video, so I want to teach you how you can really battle and avoid Facebook ad inconsistencies. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, so it's Bryce J here. So in this video, I want to tell you how you can, like I said, really deal with Facebook ad inconsistencies because, some days, as you guys know, if you've been running Facebook ads for any time, any amount of time, some days your ads can be really good, but some days they can be really bad. So how do we deal with that? I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to spending money, I don't want to just spend money on things and never see the money again. I want a return. So the way we do that, I'm going to teach you in the video. I'm going to jump into my computer, but essentially why I even feel really qualified to teach you about this is because it wasn't too long ago where I was literally struggling. I was dead broke, and like anytime I would spend money on ads, I was actually losing. And personally, I really just wanted to make it work. So like I said, in this video, I want to teach you how you can deal with that. So, when you spend $1 on an ad, you can get $2, $3, $4 back out consistently. So you're not having to, I got to find a new product next week. I got to make sure I do that. So like what you'll understand from coming, watching this video is that you can be bad at Facebook ads and you can still make a lot of money, because what I'm going to teach you is really the foundation, not just running Facebook ads for Facebook, but essentially running ads for any platform, because once you understand the foundations, the possibilities are endless. So if you have struggled with ads or Facebook ads or any type of ads in the past, it's not your fault. What I'm going to teach you here is really the foundation of how you can make it work for yourself, and it'll work 10, 15, 20 years down the line. So when you're teaching your cousins or your little kids, if you have kids, really how to make money online, whatever platform, whether it's Facebook, Google, or the next social platform that's going to come out 10, 15, 5 years from now, right? Let's jump to my computer. We're going to talk about how you can deal with Facebook ad inconsistencies today in this video. Let's go. What I want you to understand, guys, I have my computer right here. We're going to hop into it. But essentially what I want you to understand is Facebook ads is nothing but simple math, okay? I've made a lot of money on Facebook ads. I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm saying really to illustrate a point here. It's the fact that, it's not like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this campaign, I need to have CBO, I need to look like on. Like, yes, like those have a time and place, but what I'm going to teach you is really the fundamentals to make those campaigns work and really give it the light and the fire in order so you can really fill your wallets, okay? So, think about a science experiment. If you guys have, been in elementary school, right? I'm assuming so if you watch this video. So essentially like it's nothing but playing with variables. It's nothing but, just getting the amount of people to your store and really just optimizing from there. I think the problem, I really want to illustrate the problem here, guys, because I feel like the problem is a lot of people will tell you, you got to do this campaign, you got to do this, you got to do that. I kind of illustrated that a little bit, but I think the problem is that we as entrepreneurs, I think we as dropshippers are getting too caught up in the strategies and not really focusing on the fundamentals to make it work. So like I said, Facebook ads is nothing but simple math, okay? And once you can understand the numbers, and I'm not talking about freaking like stupid algebra that you don't use. I'm talking about like, once you understand all you need is 100 people. And that's actually my next point. All you really need is 100 clicks, okay? Does that make sense? So kind of the backstory behind this, before I became, quote unquote, where I am today, where I don't have to, I travel the world now, guys. I don't have to be, I'm not a slave to anybody. I literally work for myself. I can travel wherever. I travel with my girlfriend. She's actually one of the reasons I started, entrepreneurship and really grinding and hustling, because, when I was with her, I was dead broke. I wanted to get into e-commerce and I was literally struggling every single day. I remember I borrowed money from a guy and I actually lost it all on Facebook ads. So now I paid him back, but the way I did that is because I understood the 100-click test. And the way I did that, I made sure that, when 100 people came to my store, okay, 100 people, that's it. So you have your ad and you drive 100 people to your store, that's it, okay? Then afterwards, you can optimize your store layout, meaning your headlines, your descriptions, your price points, your social proof, urgency, scarcity, all this good stuff, right? You can then test and tweak all those things. But first, you really want to make sure that, hey, look, my sales page is really good. I'm going to jump into my ads manager in a second to show you exactly what I do and how I, really target people. But essentially, all I do is I get 100 people to my store and then I make changes from there. Guys, right now, when I think about Facebook ads, I kind of think of them, it's kind of like a game. It's kind of like a game, and you're driving traffic and you're getting people to the store and you see what they do. Okay, you kind of watch them a little bit, like, hey, look, 100 people. I like the 100 people. You can do more. I don't recommend doing less, but I like to get 100. If you more, the better. But essentially, I like to look at the numbers, and I just said like, hey, 100 people came and only X amount of people converted, and that's the game. I'm like, hey, how can I make the numbers better? How can I get more people to freaking buy right now? And that's it. And then I do that, product descriptions, headline tweaks, colors, pricing. Social proof, urgency, scarcity, all that good stuff, right? Like you can test it, you can tweak it. It's a variable. And the way I do it is literally I get 100 people to the store and I optimize my sales page from there. And then afterwards, you can do more complicated stuff, right? Like you guys already know CBO, lookalike audience, custom audience, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, whatever advertising platform that you are advertising on, like literally all you need is 100 clicks. 100 people come to the store. In the interest that you're targeting, obviously don't target crappy people, not to be rude, but target the right people and get 100 of them to your store and see what they do. And kind of the caveat to be successful with this strategy is you need to let your ads run. Like what I want you to understand, guys, you can be bad at Facebook ads, okay? But if you have 100 people and you're targeting those people and you get 100 people to the store, and it's like, hey, look, 100 people came and 100 people took action, or a certain percentage of them bought. Like let's say, typically my conversions right now on my store are about 5%. And the reason why is because I literally did a 100 click test, 100 clicks, 100 clicks, 100 clicks. And I tested and I tweaked things, okay? Now, typically you can probably spend $500 just literally testing your sales page. And I'm not saying you have to, oh my God, you need to blow all your money on Facebook ads. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that you can be bad at Facebook ads, but if you can understand the simple math behind it, you can be successful. I think the problem is like, if you guys know, I'm a big, I'm a solutions guy. And the problem right now in, our dropshipping community is that, a lot of people are struggling with Facebook ads because, they're trying to do the next flash in the pan strategy. Like at one moment, any freaking moment, guys, like Mark Zuckerberg can just freaking change the algorithm just like that. Do the freaking Thanos snap and just, it's gone. Like the strategies that you learn are just done. But if you understand like whatever advertising, whatever he does, if you do an ad on Google, if you do an ad on Facebook, if you do an ad on Instagram, if you do an ad on the next platform that's gonna come out in a year from now, it doesn't matter because whatever method, whatever strategy that you're gonna use, if you understand like, hey, if I get 100 people to it, okay, let's see what those 100 people did. Oh, look, man, I got no freaking conversions that time. Well, why is that? Okay, let me test my page and let me launch it again. Let me get another 100 people, then another 100 people. That's essentially, guys, like, that's why my conversion rate is so freaking high on my store, because literally I tested it so many times. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of money on ads. Like you can be bad at this game, like I said, and still make a lot of money just because you're testing things based on what the market wants, if that makes sense. So right now, if you haven't already, make sure you join the Ecom Evolved group for entrepreneurs. I go more in depth on this. I deep dived into the strategy a little bit because a lot of members in the group, they're dropshippers just like you guys, and they were saying like, hey, I'm struggling with Facebook ads because I feel like I have to spend a bunch of money. Like guys, like when I was getting started with like e-commerce and stuff, like I didn't like I said, I borrowed money and lost it. If you guys know about my story, you can go back and watch the previous video, but essentially, like I had borrowed money from this guy, like he was one of my friends, but I lost it all on Facebook ads. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation, but I remember I was sitting on my bed and I was sitting with my girlfriend. I was like, look, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I need to pay this dude back. I had like a week left. Like imagine promising somebody something and you can't fulfill on that promise. Does that make sense? So essentially, like that's what I was going through, and that's essentially how I was able to really master Facebook ads. Like I'm not the best. I'm not saying like I'm some freaking Facebook ad guru, but I understand the basic principles, and I've gotten really good at it. Just because I understand, like, hey, simple math. That's it, and you can do the same exact thing. So we're actually gonna hop into my Facebook ad manager. I'm gonna show you how you guys can do it too. I'm gonna break down a little bit like how I go about targeting like the right people, like the perfect buyer, like the perfect buyer that's going to pay me as a dropshipper, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're selling, okay? A premium price, okay? One of the things that I really pride myself on, okay, is that I don't discount price, okay? If somebody says like, hey, can I get a freaking discount? Hey, can I get a coupon? I'm like, no, dude, like, no, I'm not gonna give it to you, because the way I set my business up is that I increase the value of my stuff so high. I'll talk about this later, but I increase the value of my product so high, is that people feel like they need to buy. Like when the value is high, price seems lower, okay? When the price is high, then, if you have no value, people aren't gonna buy. It's simple, if that makes sense. So we're gonna hop into my ads manager in a second, and I will see you there. Okay guys, so we're at my computer right now. So we're looking at my ads manager, okay? Now, this is how I really go about, choosing a market. Now, if you've chosen the right product, this shouldn't be a problem, but this is how I go about targeting really the perfect buyer, the buyer that's going to pay me or pay you, for example, like a premium price. Now, like I said, I don't discount price. The only reason I would is if like I'm really looking for like a fast influx of cash. That's it. But essentially, I pride myself on, the products that I sell. Like I still dropship. I still get my stuff from China. Like that's not like the quality's still the same. Okay, but I bundle products together in order to increase the value. And I target people who are typically used to paying a premium price for what I'm selling. So I'm gonna show you how I do that in a second. So what I like to do. A lot of people have mixed emotions on this, okay? But personally, what I like to do, I usually start with conversions. And the reason why is because, like some people say like, oh, you should start with PPE. Now, social proof is important, okay? But when you're first starting out, the problem is that, you don't know if people want your product. If you don't know if you're targeting the right interests. You don't know if your sales page is good. There's a lot of different variables, but essentially, I like to optimize for what I'm going for. And in this case, I'm going for conversion. Now, PPE, yes, it does work, but there's a time and place for that. And when it comes to first starting out, I go for conversions. Then later on for branding purposes, then I go for PPE campaigns. But first starting out, I would start with conversions. A lot of people, they get too caught up in the strategies. But the fundamentals, what you'll notice, every video that I'm going to make in this channel, guys, is really evergreen fundamentals. So if you like this kind of content, go ahead and leave me a like, and go ahead and join the Ecom Evolved group for entrepreneurs. I go deep in this stuff, and they get early access for the stuff that I put on my YouTube videos. So it's really cool. So go ahead and join if you haven't already. But start with conversion. Then you can name your campaign whatever you want. Hit continue. You can name your ad set. If you are a beginner, I'm gonna go slow. But if you're an expert, this will make more sense, and you'll really understand the foundations of how to make any ad successful. So it's gonna be really cool. So like I said, if you have been struggling with ads, like you can be bad at this game, okay? You can be bad at running ads, and you can still make a lot of money, okay? One of the things that I like to do is because I target people who are used to paying a premium price, like I said. So what I like to do, I scroll down. Now, let me go to locations. So for the locations, I like to target tier 1 countries. Now, I don't have my list in front of me, but just off the top of my head, I usually target Australia, United Kingdom, Canada, and if you're a beginner, basically what this means is hey, what countries do you want your ads to be in front of? That's really it. Now, I do exclude countries as well, because I want to make sure that, when I'm spending $1 on ads, that I'm going to get 2, 3, 4, even one of my campaigns recently, I actually got a 12 ROAS. It was consistent. I want consistency when I'm doing my stuff. I don't like, oh, I made, I had a 20 ROAS today, and then the next day there's nothing. I don't like that. I don't like people that teach those kind of strategies. I really like consistency, because as operating my business, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, whatever you want to consider yourself, you want to make sure that, you have some a solid foundation, and just doing something that's going to work today and not tomorrow, is very risky business. So like I said, I like to teach really foundational strategy on the channel. If you like it, go ahead and leave me a like, leave me a comment, all that good stuff, right? So I like to exclude countries. So I like to exclude countries like Africa. Now, this is not to be rude, but typically the countries that I exclude are typically poorer countries. Like I said, it's not to be rude, but I want to make sure that I'm targeting people who have the money to afford what I'm what I'm selling, right? The countries that I'm going to exclude with my targeting, you know, they aren't going to pay that price, especially with, you know, all the other stuff I'm going to teach you guys in a second. But India, China, I don't have my list in front of me. I'll probably put it in the description, but I typically exclude countries that aren't used to paying a premium price for products, e-commerce products specifically. So for the age range, this is very important too. Tell you guys a little story. So when I was a kid, I used to love playing video games, okay? I used to love shooter games, Call of Duty. Zombies was my stuff, man, okay? I actually played yesterday, but I haven't played in a long time. Like, I'm busy. I'm busy most of the time. But when I was a kid, I used to love playing video games, but the problem was, like, I didn't have the money, because kids don't have money. I wasn't trying to rake no freaking yards. I wasn't trying to freaking mow lawns or nothing. I literally just wanted to eat, sleep, play games. Either play games with my friends online, play games, you know, outside, all that good stuff, right? The games that I wanted, I couldn't afford them, okay? And this is the big key. This is the reason I'm telling you this story. Don't target people who can't afford what you're selling. I know that sounds so simple, like, whoa, duh, Bryce, like, not everybody has money, but why do some dropshippers target people who are, you know, 18 years old? Like, okay, yeah, you're gonna get one sale here, one sale there, but when it comes down to it, you're unable to charge a premium price. And when I say premium, I mean you're able to charge, let's say, $60 for your upsell. Okay, I'm getting way too ahead of myself, but essentially, guys, I sell one product and I upsell people. You can't upsell people if they don't have the money to be sold. Okay, so what I like to do typically for the age ranges of what I target. Now, I know I'm kind of all over the place right now. I haven't taught this concept in a very, very long time, but essentially this is how I'm able to, you know, make the money I want dropshipping. My target, but typically between the age ranges of 25 to 65, and then I optimize from there, okay? If you're a beginner, all this means is like, hey, you know, you're gonna show your ad to people who live in these countries. You're not gonna show them to these countries. And when it comes to the age ranges, you're gonna target people who have a Facebook account, who are between the age ranges of 25 to 65. And that's it. And the reason why is because typically, like among the mass population of the 7-point-something billion people on this planet, typically between the ages of 25 in the world, people somewhat have their life together, like somewhat. I'm not saying everybody. Some people are still living on their couch. Now, nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying, like, I want to charge a premium price, and you should too. Like, get rich. Don't discount price. If you're adding more value, price doesn't become a concern. So yeah, that's my little harp on that. I'm sorry, but yeah, I typically charge between target people between 25 and 65. And then for the genders, depending on what product you're selling, male niche, female niche, or both, you can go from there. But detailed targeting, this is where it gets interesting, guys. So when it comes to interest targeting, it just means like, hey, you're targeting people who are fans of a certain type of page. So for example, you know, for me, I get targeted for a lot of, you know, workout stuff. I don't work out that much, but I bought one workout program one time. Okay, now all my ads are about workout stuff, okay? It's pretty interesting, but essentially what those people who are advertising are doing, I know this, I'm kind of crazy, guys, but if you like the video, go ahead and leave me a like. But essentially, because like I bought that one product, now everything that, like, they essentially identify me as being in that interest. So essentially, if you're in that interest, if you're in that demographic, people are going to target you. Then that's really it. But what I want you to understand is, like, whatever platform that you're using, is that I like to think of interests as parties, okay? A party is nothing but a collection of people who have the same interest. And what I mean by this is that if you go to a birthday party and there's a bunch of other people that you don't really know, you all have the, you know, similar value of knowing, like, hey, you know, it's John's birthday and, you know, John's celebrating a party. Like, the common interest there is party, John. But when it comes to, like, let's say you're going to a concert, the common interest there is, like, personally, I like Travis Scott, I like Drake. Depending on whatever, you know, music artist is your favorite, everybody in that party, everybody at that event, everybody at that concert, the similar interest is they all like Travis Scott, they all like Drake, whatever artist, right? So think of that. If you start thinking about the interest of parties, like, okay, if I'm selling freaking wallets, right? I'm not gonna freaking target somebody like a female 35 who is interested in Maybelline. Does that make sense? So obviously, you can get more in depth with it, but that's essentially it. So if you're an expert, start thinking about your targeting as parties, because what you'll notice is that even though one person might be in this party, they might also be in another party. They might also have another interest. It really just depends on, like, understanding your ideal customer. Okay, that's really it. I'll touch more on that in future videos, but these are really just basic fundamentals of really marketing. I don't just teach drop shipping stuff, guys. I teach marketing. I teach marketing principles and fundamentals that are gonna stick around for years to come. Okay, I hate people that teach just, oh, it's gonna work today, and then like Facebook optimized, and then all this stuff is gone. It's like, dude, this is terrible. So either way, so one of the products I was selling Maybelline. I was selling in the makeup niche. So one of the interests is Maybelline. So they were in that party. They have, the person that I'm targeting has self-identified as being in the interest of Maybelline, being a makeup lover, all that good stuff, right? Then you can go through the suggestions of what Facebook thinks that they also might be a part of. So L'Oreal, MAC, Revlon, huge companies that have built a following of millions of people, and then you just target them. And what I like to do, I do single interest targeting. Single interest targeting, and like, if you guys don't know what that is, like, I just target one interest and then I duplicate my ad set. So I'll have one ad for Maybelline, then another ad for, let's say, Revlon, one ad for Sephora, then go forward and optimize. And then I'll do the 100-click test and literally get 100 people to my store and see what happens from there. Does that make sense? So that's what I do. Then I will not expand it. Then you can narrow it down. You can narrow it down by buyers and going forward. But yeah, that's what I do. Then for placements, I think of placements like, it's just more variables, right? And when it comes down to it, if you guys have ever been in a science class, if you are over the age of 5, okay, you've been in science class, you probably took a field trip somewhere, and you probably had to make something or do a chemistry experiment, so you guys know a little bit about variables, right? So I think of, when it comes to placements, as just more variables. And what I don't want is to like stack up a bunch of variables, and get confused. Like, confusion is the enemy, the ultimate enemy of entrepreneurs. The goal is to stack the odds in your favor. And the way I do that is I only target 2 of these placements at first. And then going forward, you can obviously optimize, you can add more interest, you can try to get more traffic to your store and all that other good stuff, right? But essentially, I will target just Facebook feed and news feed. Now, I have to uncheck all of these. I'm not gonna go through that now, but essentially, I would only target Facebook feed and Instagram feed. Starting off, okay? Then you can obviously go forward, add more variables, okay? And go from there and really test things and tweak things, do the 100-click test, get 100 people and see what happens. That's really it. It's that simple. And that's really it, guys. So like, once you understand like the budget, like obviously you can have a huge budget or you can have a low budget, but it doesn't matter. But once you understand like, hey, if I get 100 people to my store, and then, out of those 100 people, a certain amount of people convert, then that's amazing. Then you can optimize and tweak your sales page from there. But if you really want to take things to the next level, this is personally what I do for my dropshipping business. If this is your first time watching my channel or watching the videos or listening to the podcast on iTunes, what's up? So if you really want to take things to the next level, now this is how personally I operate my dropshipping business. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos about a little bit about my backstory, but essentially this is how I operate my business. This is how I don't have to compete on price, and I'm not the best at Facebook ads, but I still make a good amount of money. And that's not to brag, but it's to show you guys like the possibilities are there, but it's just showing you guys and presenting it in a way it's just like, dude, like I can really do this. Hence why I dove in my computer. I don't do that often, but I really want to show you guys that you can do it too. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, expert, there's still something that you can learn here on this channel. So personally, this is what I do. This is what I do for my dropshipping business. Now, I told you guys about the 100-click test. Super valuable. Like once I understood this, guys, like everything changed. Like I thought about business completely differently, okay? Because I was like, dude, like I only need 100 people to learn like whether or not my stuff is good. Are you kidding me? Like I don't change my ad, I change my sales page, okay? I change the headline, I change price points, I change the first picture that they see. Let's say you have color variations. Okay, you can change, let's say the first picture they see is blue, let's say it's red, doesn't matter. I change all that stuff because I get 100 people to my store and I change my store. I don't change my ad. That makes sense. I That's really it. That's the secret, guys. That's the big secret of the, you know, of the dropshippers that are really killing it out there today. So personally, I run my entire dropshipping business through ClickFunnels, okay? Everything is exactly the same. I still run my ads on Facebook. I still have my pixel. I still do, you know, CBO, lookalike custom audience, all that good stuff. But all I do, I just have a sales page, and then I sell stuff. Now, what this store is, this is one of my first ever funnels, okay? We call them funnels. Now, personally, I call them dropshipping funnels, okay? So what I did, now this store doesn't look pretty, but that doesn't matter. This ugly store, you might think like, oh my God, that thing is so freaking hideous. Well, it was, and it is. But guess what? It has made me 6 figures to this day. And here's why, okay? I ran my ad, and then I drove 100 people to this funnel, okay? I was selling in the fishing niche. I told you guys a little bit about that. And I got 100 people to the store, and I literally just tested and tweaked things so much. And then the first page, it got really good. Then the second thing what I did, if you guys know anything about funnels, you have upsells, okay? Upsells is how you're, like, this is the greatest gift to dropshipping, guys. And I really want to introduce you guys to it if you're new to this channel, okay? So what I did, I sold the first product, then I upsold them more products. Like, are you guys getting this? You don't have to compete on price. Just upsell stuff to people who can pay a premium price. Like, don't sell things to people who don't have money. And the way, like, you don't have to compete on price, guys. You can be bad at this game, still make a lot of money. Like, upsells are the greatest thing. So let me show you a little bit more. So I upsold more products that complemented what they just bought. So for this pocket fishing rod I was selling about a year or so ago, I upsold a bait and tackle kind of box, okay? That just complements what they just bought. Okay, that makes sense. So I was selling the first one, and then I sold the second one for like, I was like $30 or something like that, and then I upsold more. So even if they said no to that, I still said like, hey, you know, your order's not complete. You can, you know, get more fishing rods, get more for the family. Let's say you want to take your kids out. Let's say you want to take your family out on a nice fishing trip or whatever. Everyone can have these fishing rods. So would you like to buy? Isn't that cool? That's all I did. It's really awesome, guys. Like having a funnel really changed my life. This was one of my first funnels. It's not that I was bad at Facebook ads. It's not that, you know, I didn't understand dropshipping. It's not that I didn't, you know, how to write a product description. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't that I couldn't find a good product. It was the fact that I wasn't selling enough to the people who bought. Like I said, if you guys know my story, like my product that I was selling at the time, it was getting sales. It was getting sales, but the problem was I wasn't maximizing on those customers. And now what I do, I literally sell products through a funnel and upsell customers. And what I did, I had 3 upsells, and that's 3 times more money, guys. Now, it completely changed the game. It's completely changed my life. And personally, this is how I operate my entire dropshipping business, guys. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and leave me a like, comment, subscribe. But, you know, what I really want you to do, I really want you right now watching this video, I really want you to join the group Ecom Evolved. It's a group for entrepreneurs, okay? If you want to take things to the next level, if you want to be, you know, really around a community of people who really want more out of life, join the group. Now, if you're the type of person that is just like, oh, I just want to make money, you know, I want to make money as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes down to it, guys, one of the things that I've noticed is that, you know, I'm very good at what I do, not to brag, but when it comes down to it, guys, I'm sure you can relate to this. If you get really good at something, it's very hard to get around other people who are as, you know, good as you. So one of the things I ran track as a kid. Not a kid, but I was in high school. I'm 23 now, but I was running track, and then I was really good at it. Like, I understood the mechanics. I was really fast. I was really good. But what I noticed is that, you know, like being around people who weren't as good or like didn't understand, like they kind of envy you. And that's the same way with dropshipping, making money. Like if people don't understand what you do, like they'll start hating on you. So one of the things one of my friends, like back in the day when I first started dropshipping, he was like, oh, are you freaking scamming people? You're selling stuff from China? Oh my God, you must be scamming people. Like, it's just like, no, dude, like I'm learning how to make money online. So if you would like to be a part of a community of people who really just want better, and really, you know, don't settle for average, go ahead and join the group. And that's all I have for you on this video, guys. If you got value out of it, go ahead and join the group. And that is it. That is all I have for you today on this video. My name is Bryce J, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.